another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do anything that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Game Source, plus the great guys at LakerHolics.com, the best place to go for the conversation that is the Los Angeles Lakers, and of course, the many basketball podcasts at the Hoopheads Podcast Network. It is sincerely appreciated. And thank you so much already for the thumbs up on Facebook. Felix V, great to have you here. Everybody's coming into the chat board now. Already see the great comments. Oh, yeah, and we can't do anything easy. But still, it is a victory for the Los Angeles Lakers as LeBron, Dennis Schroder, and Anthony Davis return to the lineup, and we start, for times during the course of the game, we start to look more like the team that looks like a heavy favorite to go into the playoffs as a champion. And hopefully they will come out as a champion. But they did look at times like the team that we know and love, and some other times that they didn't. But here today to talk about the game and LeBron's great performance in the closing minutes after the team went on, I guess, like a 4.5, almost 5-minute run without scoring in the fourth quarter. They had built up to lead to 14, 15 points, and it had whittled all the way down to 3 because of that drought. But LeBron James closes out the game really strong, 24 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds in his return in 28 minutes. Anthony Davis, 36 minutes, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists as well, 2 steals. Dennis Schroder, 14 points in his return. Andre Drummond, 11 points and 15 rebounds. And KCP, 13 points added on, along with some bench scoring from THT and Montrezl Harrell. Decent game for the Lakers, especially scoring-wise, but on the defensive end, pretty shaky. But again, we are very, very glad to have them back. But here today to talk about the game is a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out what he's doing today at Medium.com and also LakerHolics.com, the place to go for the best in conversation for the Los Angeles Lakers. It is LakerTom, and LakerTom, as Renz and V and Felix and V, they're all saying, and on the chat board right now, the king is truly back.
Well, that was a great game by LeBron, and the best news of all is that he said he had no setback today, felt just a tiny bit of soreness at the end of the game, but definitely a really positive sign. There were several plays where I thought he was taking off on that ankle and was really soaring high in the air. And it was good to see finally our starting lineup come out, and the 5 guys who were going to start probably in the playoffs actually be on the court for the first time. And all of them were in double digits. The offense looked good. There were a few sloppy passes. The defense obviously needs some effort, but we saw the things that we were hoping were developing and that we saw signs of in the last few games, namely that LeBron and AD both look like they're fully healthy now. Looks like they're going to be back and playing at the level that they were last year in playoffs. And I think most importantly, Andre Drummond continues to have a 3rd or 4th straight game where he's pulled a double-double off. In this case, 15 rebounds, 11 points. A few of those shots that you just wonder what the heck he was doing with the ball at that point in time. A few missed bunnies and so forth, but the size is kind of daunting. He had a couple of good blocks. Overall, you got to be really happy with the performance of the Lakers and the fact that they look healthy. I think we're pretty well stuck in the 7th seed because let's
go over the scenario here in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, the schedule has changed a little bit. It is going to be staggered out. The games are not all going to be played at the same time, but they are going to be played in relative groups. And the group that the Lakers are most concerned about for tomorrow is going to take place around 6 p.m. So people need to go ahead and check out that at, I believe, 6 p.m. Pacific time. That is going to take place. And I'm going to check right now. Yeah, it is Pacific time, and it is going to include the Los Angeles Lakers at New Orleans, who will have several of their star players out of the game. So the Lakers do not have any excuses there. They should win that game. Even if there are certain players that are not going to go ahead and be, back to back. Maybe one of the two Lakers might sit down, but there are several New Orleans Pelicans who will not be involved in the game. In fact, Williamson, I think Ingram, Ball, all these players, Steven, he's not going to be in there as well. So there's going to be a bunch of Pelicans that are not in the lineup. There should be no excuse for the Lakers not to win, but the Lakers need to win, and Portland needs to lose tomorrow with Denver in order to go ahead and get the 6th seed. And all these games are going to be going on tomorrow around 6 p.m. Pacific time. So please, if you got to go ahead and do some scoreboard watching, that's the time to do it. Earlier in the day, the Eastern Conference teams, for the most part, are going to be battling out. And then there's one game at 12:30 tomorrow that's also important to the Lakers, and that's Memphis at Golden State, which will decide who will be the 8th seed. And if the Lakers do not get out of the 7th seed, that will also decide who they play in the play-in as well. So very important for everybody to go ahead and do some scoreboard watching tomorrow, or if they have League Pass, do so as well. Again, great comments on our comment board already. Just major props to everyone out there who came in time. Major props to everyone out there in the Philippines. Hope you're all safe and happy out there as we go ahead on our weekend here. But here today to talk about the game as well. A great performance offensively. Defensively, that's got to come back a little bit as well. Is a good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check out the great comments that he provides at LakerHolics.com. It is LRob. And LRob, my good friend, I want to tell you right now, it's great to have LeBron back. Dennis Schroder getting back into shape. You could tell he looked a little tired. His shots were short today, but good to have him back in the lineup. And it's starting to look a little bit better for Lakers fans right now.
Yes, it was exciting to see the old gang back together again. Or really, it's the first time they've been together. Right?
Is it the first time?
Maybe not, but they haven't played more than one or two games with Drummond.
I think it is the first time.
I think it's the first time, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
That all of them are back. AD, LeBron. Yeah, it's okay. The first time out there that we have had the lineup, the starting lineup that is going to be the projected starting lineup for the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah. So, I didn't like to see them bring LeBron and all those guys back in the fourth, but I understand the need to kind of build a little continuity with Drummond playing alongside Davis and LeBron. So, but yeah, it was a good game. Exciting. AD, great to see him continue to be on a tear and be aggressive and set the tone. And LeBron didn't have too much rust, so he looked good. Like you mentioned, Dennis was the only one who looked like he struggled and was laboring out there. So it was good. THT fit in good with the guys. Kuz kind of reverted to, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the rest of these guys out here. Should I shoot it, pass it? Do I drive? I mean, so he's got to kind of, get back in his groove. But yeah, it was an exciting game. You don't know what you could take away from playing them. These teams that, are playing one or two starters and the rest of the guys are bench guys or G leaguers. So, but you take a W. Lakers doing what they got to do, just kind of grinding and getting ready for whatever postseason brings, whether it's the play-in game or the regular postseason. So, check it off the mark.
Well, it definitely
the game and move on.
V wants me to go ahead and give Dudley all back tonight. I don't know about that. We'll wait and see on Mr. Dudley. But I will say that your big props out there to everybody on the chat board. Renz, important. Ren said that it's important to see all the Lakers healthy. You're right. AC was still out of the game. Alex Caruso was not in the game because of his ankle still. But hopefully we can get him back soon. I also want to go ahead and say that she will cook adobo for all of us if the Lakers win the championship. And you know what? As a individual here who has a Filipino wife, adobo is welcome in this household anytime. I tell you that. That's for sure. But again, it was the Lakers winning 122-115. LakerTom, I want to hit you up with this. It is still the Lakers getting back together. It's going to take some time to work out the kinks. I am still for the fact that, I flip-flopped on this. Should the Lakers be playing that play-in game, or should they try to play tomorrow to win and hope that they get the 6th seed? I went this last night at dinner with a few Lakers fans friends of mine, and we went back and forth on this. I really think that the rest and time for practice is better. I flip-flopped on it from, let's get some reps. Now I'm on with your side, LakerTom. I think that the Lakers should try to play for the 6th seed tomorrow. They should try to go ahead and get that week off so that they could go ahead and get some practice in and play really strong and have no excuses for fatigue or anything like that going into the first round of the playoffs.
I don't think it's in their hands. I think that the Denver Nuggets don't want to play the Lakers, and the Denver Nuggets are going to throw the game tomorrow night. They're going to tank, and they're going to let they're probably not going to play anybody, and they're going to let the Blazers win, because they definitely don't want to have a show off against the Lakers. It's kind of funny that we've seen, and it's a strange combination at the end of the season, because everybody was really excited about how the play-in tournament was going to keep teams from tanking. And in a certain way, because there are more teams involved in the whole situation, and people are playing for their positions and trying to avoid certain teams, it's almost like there's more tanking. And you mix that with the fact that a lot of teams still got guys who are injured, who aren't 100% back, and it's kind of disappointing, like the Clippers not playing any starters. I mean, how doesn't the league have some rules that you have to,
and they're very indiscriminate who they don't find in regards to that. You see every now and then them find some teams for not playing to the rules as far as who they sit out, who they don't, and then other times they let anybody have all their players out.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
very hypocritical.
I
double standard.
I still think that there's no way that Denver wants to play the Lakers, and so they're going to tank that game for sure.
I'm hoping
the league's is the games that are televised. So I mean, if your game isn't nationally televised, you can sit whoever you want in the league. I guess they can't see the box scores, or they don't have access to the games that aren't showing, because they don't seem like they ever find or take any action against guys unless it's a game to televised.
Well, Vogel says the Lakers' goal is to just win as many games as they can to get the team playing well, and they don't care whether they're 7th or 6th. And I think in essence, that's probably true. They also realize that it's probably not in their control. The Clippers have already, put their weight on one hand on the scale, and the Nuggets are going to put their hand on the other end of the scale. Nobody wants to play the Lakers, and especially when they see LeBron back healthy and AD in the first half of this game. Boy, he really looked good. Nobody wants to play the Lakers at this point in time, and I think they'll do anything they can to avoid being in the Lakers bracket, if at all possible, by whatever they do over the remaining day and a half that we've got of the season left. But it's good news for Laker fans. I feel very optimistic about the team. We've had there was a post where somebody put up the 5 best plays for the last week. And I posted that on Lakerholics, this tweet, and it was really remarkable, because each one of the plays was a buzzer beater, great play by one of our role players, somebody other than LeBron James, Anthony Davis in a couple of situations, Kuzma, THT, and Wes Matthews, all making championship quality clutch plays that we saw in the last week. And that's 6 guys basically coming in, and when you count Caruso's excellent 2 games of 17 and 18 points. So the Lakers, it's been one of those horrible seasons where the injuries just seem to string out, last a lot longer than everybody expected. But coming down the stretch now, it doesn't matter to me where we play. I feel pretty confident that the Lakers are going to be in there in the championship, and they have just as good a shot as anybody else. I said it maybe last week that I thought the field had overtaken the Lakers if you were going to pick who was going to win, the Lakers or some other team. I think it swung back in the favor of the Lakers now, over 50% chance that the Lakers are going to repeat. And, 55-45, wow. 60-40, something like that.
Well, let me ask you this, LRob. The defense today obviously was not there yet. And it's something that now they have to get to learn to play with each other, because it was the first game that they were all with each other. And that's something that I think was lacking at times. And then, of course, that fourth period, the fourth quarter period where they just couldn't score. There was that 4.5 minute time where they just were not being able to score, and that's when Indiana came back into the game. Are you concerned at all, or you think it's just going to take time for them to mesh to get that defensive thing? Because, again, it comes down to who is the third player for the Lakers, and if it's going to be anything like last year, the third player for the Lakers needs to be the defense once again.
Yeah, I'm not concerned on the defensive end. Not at all. I think today's lack of defense was somewhat the Lakers playing cautious. Don't want to get injured. You see rebounds laying on the floor, guys not going after it, not being aggressive because they might bump into somebody else. So really defense, I'm not really worried about. Fourth quarter laws and lack of movement. I mean, we've been seeing that ever since LeBron been on the Lakers. So that's nothing new. I just what he does. He's running the show, and he's got a tendency to just, you know what, I'm going to take it. I'm going to do my one-on-one thing, and unless the coach calls a play up, he's going to, that's kind of what we're going to have to live with. So far, so good though. He usually delivers more often than not. You will see AD at the 5 a lot in coming down the stretch in some of those games, so that'll help some. Having a smaller lineup in there. But yeah, that's pretty much on LeBron. It's like, get some movement. Have some guys, get some movement. But so I'm very concerned about that. That's how we play. Coming down the street in a lot of games, and we have droughts.
Because I don't think we're going to be able to outscore every single team. If we go to a mentality, okay, we're just going to outscore you, I don't think that's a good recipe, LakerTom. I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think it's just going to take some time for the defense to mesh and these players to work with each other, and maybe some practices. That's why I'm thinking now that I'm hoping that the Lakers can squeak into the 6th spot. Obviously, I'm not counting on it, but I'm hoping that they can squeak in the 6th spot just because they can have that week to practice, to get used to each other so they can mesh on the defensive end. I mean, not the offensive end. Obviously, we saw today that the offense can be there if they're in the lineup. I mean, we could barely even score baskets when they were out of the lineup, but you can see how much AD and LeBron affects them offensively. But again, the key to the Lakers winning the championship, in my opinion, is defense, and I think it's going to take some time for them to work that out.
I actually kind of agree with Lee that it isn't going to be a problem defensively. I think we've seen the Lakers put the clamps on. I think one of the issues will be what Frank Vogel does to close out games, because as well as I think Andre Drummond seems to be fitting in there by his elite rebounding and being able to post a double-double for the 3rd straight game in a row, he gets lost in the rotations. If the other team keeps moving the ball around a lot, Andre ends up in the wrong spot, and that's the weak link in our defense to close games out with that starting lineup. So I'm hoping that will revert to the normal situation. I was glad to see the day that we did play some AD at the 5 and not having Harrell or Gasol didn't even play, not having Harrell or Drummond in the game. And I think that's going to still be the way that we'll close out games. So the one thing that's been consistent all year long, and sure you have the quarters or the halves or even whole games where the team doesn't play great defense. But even without LeBron and AD, they were still like 4th or 5th in defensive ratings. So I'm pretty confident that the defense is going to be fine. I think that's Vogel's strength. And as long as he closes games out with a defensive-oriented team with AD at the 5, I think we'll be fine. The challenge will be against, can Drummond continue to contribute offensively, dominate the boards? If he can get 15 rebounds and 12 to 15 points every game, he's going to be a factor, because we didn't have a big man who could do that. in the previous instances. The one problem that Frank is going to face is that we've got 12 guys that can contribute. And each series, it's going to be probably a different 8 or 9 that are going to get most of the minutes. And so the rotations, I said in one of the comments that I made on LakerHolics.com that this is a sort of a turnaround season or a transcendent season for Frank Vogel, because if he can be a master at making the right substitutions and matching up against the teams that we play in each series with this big toolbox he's got of talent that's got 12 players who can contribute and have contributed at key points in time. If he can really make all of the adjustments so that every move he makes is the right move like he did last year, we're going to win a championship, and Frank is going to see himself elevated into the elite group of coaches along with Spoelstra, Pops, and all of the guys that always get the praise as these are the coaches whose future is secure. They're future Hall of Fame coaches. And Frank Vogel has a chance to elevate himself into that group. Traditionally, any coach of LeBron James is pretty much ignored, and you feel like, the rest of the media tends to look at this is a guy who just rolls the ball out on the floor because he's got so many superstars in there with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But it's a lot more than that, as we've seen as the way Frank managed the team last year in the playoffs. And I think he's got an opportunity this year to really elevate himself in the coaching stratosphere and really help the Lakers win a championship. And I think it's going to be on him, a lot of it, because we've got 12 guys who can contribute, and that's going to be a real challenge to figure out which are going to be the 8 or 9 in each one of these series coming up all the way through to the finals.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. LRob, before we head on out, because it's going to be a shorter one today, I do want to mention that this weekend there is going to be the inductions of the Hall of Fame for the 2020 class and also the 2021 class. I want to go ahead and hear your thoughts on, obviously, the big ticket himself, Mr. Kobe Bryant. I know there's people that are so happy for Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Rudy Tomjanovich, Mike Breen, Michael Wilbon, so many other names, great names that are going. Kim Mulkey, she's going to be inducted as well. But I think everybody is centering around the late Kobe Bryant and his induction to the Hall of Fame. I want to hear your thoughts on Kobe Bryant entering officially the Hall of Fame and the fact that the NBA has announced that they're dedicating a portion of the Hall of Fame and actually an own wing to the greatness that is Kobe Bryant, which that really got me. That really got me when I heard that announcement. And I'm so happy for the Bryant family to honor that the NBA is going to honor the greatness that is Kobe Bryant this weekend.
Yeah, that's I'm looking forward to watching it. It's going to be
LakerTom, I'll be back. Just let you know. I'm sorry, my guys, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very emotional. I know for me, we've lived all those great moments with Kobe, and you've seen him come from a teenager all the way to, one of the greatest players to ever play, and his family, raising a wonderful family, and, to see his life end so tragically. We were blessed. We were blessed to see one of the best to ever do it, one of the greatest competitors. And so it's going to be very emotional for, I think, basketball fans in general, but especially for us Lakers fans. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, it's going to be tough, a tough watch.
It's great. It's sort of great that he's going to have Vanessa there, and she's going to then put the Hall of Fame jacket on his daughter, his oldest daughter, and just honoring Kobe and Gigi. I've coached my granddaughters for 7 or 8 years now in CYO and AAU basketball, and they loved Kobe. They loved Kobe because he was a girl dad. It was kind of funny that you got this guy who had probably one of the most cutthroat competitive urges of anybody I've ever known. He used to say that his kids wouldn't even play Monopoly with him because he was just too brutal. And then you find him, like LeBron said during the ceremonies honoring him at Staples, that he never saw Kobe as happy as he was those last 3 years, spending his time with Gigi and the whole Mambasita thing, and really finally coming to rest. Because a lot of guys, when they're competitive like that and they're considered the best player in the universe at their point in time, when they retire, it's like a sudden different thing. It's all of a sudden that they don't have the same adulation, the thrill of winning the games and so forth. And then to have his daughter come to him and say, hey, Dad, will you buy me League Pass so I can watch the games? And he didn't even have League Pass going, and it was to see him get all involved again and so forth. And then the tragedy of that all getting cut short, by the helicopter crash. So it'll be great to see, it'll be great to see Kobe getting his honor. And like Gerald said, the whole idea that there's going to be this entire wing of the Hall of Fame that's going to be dedicated to Kobe. We've dedicated LakerHolics.com to Kobe and Gigi when we built the new site, and they'll always be part of the family, and there will always be Kobe Bryant posts happening in LakerHolics.com for as long as I'm alive. I'll say that much, and I'm sure it's going to continue with whoever takes over after I'm gone. Rest in peace, Kobe. You'll be with us always.
I just find myself the last few days just kind of going back over his career, and remember the summer league when he first got drafted.
Remember the air balls, the first air balls in the playoffs against Utah.
Yeah, the playoff air balls. I mean, even the summer league, first summer league, you found out he was unguardable, guys. I mean, he would shoot like 12, 15 free throws because guys could not stay in front of him. And then, the first year, like you say, he shoots the air balls in Utah, and Lakers get bounced out, but. They asked Dale Harris, hey, why did you go with him? He was like, because I have confidence in him. He's our best one-on-one player, and that's what I wanted to do at the end of that game. And then the All-Star game, he got voted an All-Star as a off the bench. I don't know how many times that's happened in league history, but he wasn't starting the second year when he got voted to the All-Star game, and waving off Karl Malone and all the criticism he took for, who is he? How can he wave off this great player? And but that was Kobe. Kobe had more confidence in his abilities than anybody else. So, all the battle.
It's interesting the different generations of Lakers fans that we have. Yeah. There's a few of them like me and maybe you that have gone through I first started watching the Lakers when it was Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. So I went through the Weston Baylor era, then I went through the Wilt and Jerry, and winning that one championship.
Wilt and Jerry, not the 60s Lakers. I didn't as much, but early 70s Wilt, Jerry, Happy Harris.
And then Showtime was magic, man. Magic all the way around. And you just and I know there were a lot of fans that Magic and Showtime was the first time they really got a view of Lakers legacy and so forth. And then you get the Kobe and Shaq and the Kobe and Pau era and so forth. And then you go through the 7 years that we just went through before we got LeBron and go through all of those things. And there's probably now a whole new generation of Laker fans whose memories are going to be from LeBron.
Yep.
LeBron and AD, and then if you look down the road, one of the things that I really think is going to happen this year is I think that, and I know you and I have had difference of opinion on this, I think this is going to be Anthony Davis's year. I think that Anthony Davis is going to become the team's MVP in the finals. And I think LeBron is going to engineer that. He's going to feed him the ball, and he's going to average well over 30 points a game, I think, in the finals this year.
No, we don't disagree on that. I think that has to happen for the Lakers to win.
It's got to happen at some time in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Why not this year?
Now's the time. LeBron's missed a lot of games in 2 of the last 3 years. So,
and there's nothing that would help energize the rest of LeBron's career, I think, than seeing Anthony really take that mantle from him, take the baton from him, and really, become almost unstoppable. That's what I'm hoping we're seeing a little bit of in the competitive. It's tough when you go through a long regular season like Anthony did with a short turnaround and you don't have any time off and you're injured coming off of the playoffs. And you got a compressed schedule where you don't get any practice time or extra days off. You're playing back-to-backs left and right. And frankly, he didn't really have a great season. He wasn't playing. He wasn't playing up to his level.
You could tell he wasn't as engaged.
But the signs in the last few games that he's come back and so forth, the way he played in the first half with the 17 points that he poured in, boy, I mean,
yeah,
there are going to be, if he and LeBron can play to the level, and a lot of it last year was shooting. Their shooting and their individual defense, both of them, really set the Lakers to another whole level than they had played even before the suspension. When we were second best team in the league behind Milwaukee. So there's a general feeling that I have that everything's starting to come up Lakers right now. And I think
you are very optimistic. I'm usually optimistic, but I think you even out trump me this time because you said about 55% chance you can see them winning it. So that's good. They got a lot of pieces.
All of us have always said that the key to us winning is LeBron and AD being healthy and playing at their peak.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's going to be up to Vogel to maneuver because we got so many different pieces. Twin didn't play today, and we know AC is out. Was Gasol just a coach's decision? Did not play?
I guess so. I think he just wanted to. I think this was a game where he thought that Trez would have some ability to score, and Trez 9 points, 9 rebounds. Yeah, not a bad game. I mean,
he played good. We just our defense when Trez is in there, it's like
Trez, and that's really the problem. That's really the problem with closing with one of our centers, because Gasol is not athletic enough, and Trez and Drum basically just don't have that sort of sense of who's on the floor, where they are on the floor, and so forth. That AD does. You watch AD, and it's when they play that trapping, switching defense, and it very often, if you watch it closely, you'll see that there are multiple exchanges, multiple switches on a lot of plays, especially when a big man cuts through the center or a guard cuts through the center. They're passing that guy off to another defender and so forth. And when you make all of those types of rotations and moves, that's when teamwork really counts. You can't play defense on a string. You can't play defense on a string unless everybody is on the same page.
Yeah, and Drummond's just not there yet. I don't know if he. I don't know if he.
Maybe he can get. I didn't think he could get there offensively, Lee, and yet the last 3 games I've switched it around. Now I definitely think Drummond should start.
Yeah, he's
and I didn't feel that way before, so I basically felt that he couldn't really fit in because of clogging up the paint and so forth. And I really wanted to see Gasol out there, but the more that I'm watching him now.
Did you like to play when Drummond was like a pulling guard and he just kind of boxed his man all the way out of bounds and let LeBron drive all the way to the hoop?
Yeah, he's done a couple. Well, that's always one of the unappreciated benefits of a big man who knows how to screen. It's almost like on a long run, even from scrimmage, where you've got guys who just know how to get in the way, and it's something that you try to teach kids in playing basketball. That when you're on a fast break, you can still get in the way of defenders trying to get back to help out. And in the NBA, there's a lot of times where you see a guy get a drive to the lane, and if your center can block off the other center from getting over there, that's an easy 2 points. But maybe Drummond can pick this up. Maybe I'm being too hard on him because he hasn't had any time with LeBron. He has had very little time with AD, and it's a different style. It's a different style that he's never played before. I've been impressed with his passing. I've been impressed with the fact that when he gets a rebound down low and there's 2 or 3 guys around him, he's not at all hesitant to throw the ball out to an open player to shoot it. He's not going up there with bad habits that he might have had earlier in Detroit, where he'd just take everything back up immediately, regardless of what quality the shot was and so forth. So I think that that's really an important aspect of how he can really help the Lakers. I mean, there were some nice plays involving, LeBron, AD, and Andre today that, where passes were going there. Couple of lobs that he was able to finish on.
It makes a big difference letting him, give him involved in the offense. Like LeBron, gave him some lobs, and we were talking about it before LeBron came back. Caruso and some of the other guys couldn't find him when he was open, but you see how with LeBron, with his height and his vision, he was able to throw over the top and find Drummond for a couple
and to put it right where Dre could easily dunk it.
Easy finish, and as a result, that raises Drummond's level of defense, that raises his level of engagement. You got to give him
you got to give him some touches inside. You can't just totally ignore him. I mean, even when it was JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard, they always deserved a touch here and there inside.
So let me ask you this. That law that the Lakers went through, I know Dennis wasn't in the game, and I think he can help them some because his ability to create and get to the basket and create his own shot, I think, that team didn't have another person who can do that. So LeBron, that won't always be on LeBron coming down the stretch in some of those games. So maybe once Dennis is back in his groove, that'll help us some. So just don't want to see him shooting as many threes as he shot today. I'm just going to kind of chalk that up to him.
Well, a couple of them were clock threes where he was really a little further out than his push shot really works.
Right.
One of the things that impressed me today watching the Pacers was McConnell. And I love the way that they move the ball. I hear all of the criticism that their coach is going to get fired, but that team moved the ball really well, and they shredded our defense in a lot of plays. And it was that quick touches and the moving of the ball and not having the ball stick. And one of the things that I thought when you talk about Dennis's ability, I liked it when we were playing the idea that the ball would go to LeBron and he'd immediately give it back to Dennis, and there was a lot of movement with a feeling that we weren't going to just stick there and stand around. And when AD and LeBron start standing around, that's when we really get stagnant on offense. And I think that's what happened in the fourth quarter. We just started, settling for a shot and sort of milking the clock a little bit. And you're always, you always risk things when you start playing differently than got you the lead when you're trying to hold the lead. It almost always backfires on you. Yeah. But I'd like to see the Lakers have a little more activity, a little more cutting, a little more passing the ball, having the ball not stick anywhere. As long as that ball is continuing to move, your defense is forced to move, and that's basically what happened to the Lakers defense tonight. There was just a lot of motion by the point guard, by McConnell. I mean, I don't know what his availability is down the road, but I know Gerald at one point had been pushing to trade for him, and he would be a hell of a backup point guard on any team.
Yeah, he's such a smart player, and he's a pest.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'll tell you what, you live by the air conditioner here in Vegas, you die by the air conditioner here in Vegas. As I've just been told, I have to go ahead and get one fixed. My main one has just went out and bit the dust. I have the guy here. He's checking it now and has told me not a lot of good news in regards to that. But there is good news for Lakers fans out there. And with the return of LeBron, AD, Dennis Schroder, all back to the lineup, and we have the starting lineup that we finally needed right now. But guys, it's been great talking to you both for the limited time I was here, and thank you so much for cooperating and keeping the fans interested out there listening. If you have any questions for LRob or LakerTom, the best place to go is Lakerholics.com, the best place to go for conversation for anything Los Angeles Lakers. Also, as well, if you want to email us, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. If you want to reach out to us on Twitter, at Lakers Fast Break and at LakerTom. You want to go ahead and check out all the great shows that we're doing. In fact, all the great stuff that we're doing out there as well. I do the Pop Culture Cosmos, and of course, all the great basketball shows that are available right now at the Hoopheads Podcast Network at hoopheadspod.com. LakerTom, our 15th is back. You've got a fan, a Jared Dudley fan there in V. Garcia.
Hey, V.
Yep, he's out in Texas. We've got LRob in Michigan. We've got me in Nevada. We got you in Northern California. We're all over as Lakers fans. We got our great fans in the Philippines here as well. I do want to mention again that the Lakers did win 122-115, and it sets up an important evening tomorrow. And we will be here once again right after the New Orleans Pelicans game. And we will be here to talk about all the different scenarios, all the things that's going down. I will also have additional shows next week before the play-in games in regards to season-ending awards. I'm also going to go ahead and do a deep dive into the play-in tournament before that happens. And, of course, we will also do a breakdown at the end of the week in regards to the playoffs itself. So look for that. And, of course, if the Lakers are involved in the playoff tournament, we will go ahead and cover that as well. But once again, and V. Garcia says, great job once again, guys. Have a good one. Till next time. We wish you well, V. Thank you so much to Renz, Felix, everybody got a chance to watch us. Jamie Sweet, Admiral Akbar, we miss you. Mr. Pootie King himself, come back down here. Or am I Pootie? I'm the Pootie. That's right. I'm just the Pootie. That's right, according to Jamie Sweet. But bring him back on the show as well. And someone accept me in the Lakerholics page, please. LOL. We'll go ahead and do so, V. I'll reach out to you today and make sure that gets covered for you. We do have the Lakerholics group on Facebook, so definitely we'll get you squared away on that as well. But once again, it is the Lakers 122-115. We will be back tomorrow with all the scenarios covered for you, and make sure that you know and you're up to date on what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers as they head into the playoffs right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.